Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Gilmore Girls, Season 2, Episode 11, Secrets and Loans.
I'm gonna say it right now. For people who don't like it when I get mad about stuff, you can
turn away.
Not watch this episode.
Okay, in that case, I want to start with maybe the things that are not bad to neutral about this episode.
Okay.
The stuff with Paris and the SAT.
She just wants to know so bad.
Hilarious.
And I feel like Rory's doing it. Part of it's for her own good because she's just going to spiral because Rory did better.
Yeah. Only on one of the scores.
They were like, no.
They're like staggered, kind of.
She said she got a 740 in
verbal, 760 math.
Mm-hmm. And then, so Paris.
730, 750. That's right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So that was like, Rory was kind of weird about it because she did better in math than verbal, and she thought that was weird. I would have thought that was weird as well.
Same, yeah.
I also think it's a little weird from Rory, so we're all on the same page. Mm-hmm. But it is really funny, just the way that, like, Paris keeps talking to be like, well, how do I know what kind of a person you are? Like, what makes you happy? So how do I know how happy you are based on your happiness scale? And, like, all that's hilarious. And then she gets Madeline to call Rory about an article for the paper, and she's actually just, like, trying to figure out her score, and Rory knows that Paris is on the phone, and she's just like, I got you. Like, I'm not talking about this with you.
Yeah.
I just think it's very funny.
Yeah, same.
Also, there was very little Dean in this episode.
Yes.
And he didn't do anything.
Nope.
Except he did throw a basketball at Rory.
Yep.
Thinking she would catch it. Like, how long have you been together? How long have you known her now? Like, 2 years? Please. Obviously not. Just
break up already. I can't. Well,
it's so much longer. Yeah. For my money, the scene with Suki and Jackson.
Oh my God, so cute.
Is so cute, so fantastic. Jackson's pajamas are insane. All I want now is a chocolate malt milkshake.
Yeah, like bad.
And it's Easter. We're recording this today on Easter, so all of the grocery stores are closed.
Yeah.
The only other thing I have that is, like, only a positive is that Luke Danes will ride for Lorelai literally no matter what.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. When God love him for it.
Okay. So I guess B story of this episode is that Lane has become a cheerleader. And she didn't tell Rory because she thought Rory would be judgy.
Because she would be.
And okay, here's my thing. I don't disagree. However, if you came to me all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with me having known you as long as I have, all of the things I know about you, and you were like, I'm going to start playing women's rugby, I would be like, why?
But that's not judgy.
Okay.
That is a very good question.
Okay. So that's, for me, with Rory knowing everything she knows about Lane. I'm not arguing because obviously if we had watched it play out the way that they're saying, Rory probably would have been like, ew, gross. But when Lane was like, if I had come to you and said, I want to be a cheerleader, what would you have said? And Rory just goes, why? Because it is weird given Lane's whole deal and personality.
But the difference in the whys is the why that Rory would give her would be drenched in judgment.
Sure. It's just, for me, the only reason that I'm giving a little bit less heat to Rory in this storyline is because the way that she says it in that interaction, to me, is very neutral. Where she's just like, why do you want, like, I think she wants to understand, because it's so foreign to how they've been friends the whole time.
I know, but Lane knows her best friend, and she knows that her best friend is judgy.
Fair.
So, because, like, full disclosure, I can be very judgy about things, but when it comes to my friends, if you're doing something, clearly I know there is a reason why you're doing it. Yeah. So I'm going to relinquish my judgment face and genuinely try to understand.
Okay.
And then be like, girl, you're really gonna do that?
Sure.
But for me...
Are you sure about the full contact rugby?
Yeah. I would just be like, is that part of a larger conversation we need to be having? Is it about the women part or the rugby part?
Sure.
What are we doing? But for me, if I were Lane's friend, in my mind, it would be, this is a way for Lane to be able to dance away from her mother.
Sure.
And to listen to music that her mother can't freak out about because it's a school thing.
It's a school sanctioned
Immediately, thing. That's where my brain went.
Sure.
She doesn't have to hide in her disco closet and, like, jerk around.
Although her disco closet slaps.
Oh, it does slap, 100%. But I just... I'm having a really hard time with the Gilmores. I'm really having a hard time.
Okay, so, but, like... But let me ask you, who do you think was the bigger offender in this episode?
Lorelai.
Okay, yes. Okay.
100%.
Because while I do think... Okay, so the main story is that the house has termites. Mm-hmm. They have eaten away all the joists. Lorelai, like, goes through the porch. It's, like, really bad. Kirk is the one that does the inspection. It's not great. It's going to cost $15,000. Lorelai does not have $15,000. She has never seen $15,000. She cannot get a loan anywhere. Mm-hmm. And Rory, she's obviously Lorelai's worried. But I think she thinks that Rory thinks she's not worried and she's not doing, like, that whole thing was kind of like a cyclical conversation.
Hey, you want to know who should have known about that the entire time? Is Rory.
Shouldn't have known?
Should not have known the price.
Sure.
Should not have known how bad it was.
Sure.
Nothing.
Sure.
And I'm going to get a little upset. I can already feel it. I can hear it.
I can hear it in your voice. Okay. Rachel is emotionally compromised by this episode. We're going to proceed cautiously.
I'm just probably going to be quiet.
It's okay. I'm just going to explain what happened. We're going to jump in if we want to. And we're going to move along. Because this is... I was actually, like, not really expecting this.
No, I can't. Lorelai, I really can't with her.
So I am, like, I'm furious at Lorelai in this episode because I totally agree with you. Rory should not know. Rory's 16. She should not know she might be 17 now, regardless. She should absolutely not know the extent of the issues with the house, how much it costs, anything like that. However, given the fact that she does, and she knows, obviously, enough about their financial situation to know that they can't handle this, I think she does the only appropriate thing, which is asking Richard and Emily, because Richard's out of town again, asking her for money. And so, what then makes me so angry is that, like, this is also fitting for Easter, because it's like that stupid thing, that stupid story where it's like, a man was in his house and it started flooding and he was like praying to God to like send him help or whatever. And his neighbors were like, I'll drive you away. And he was like, that's okay. God's going to help me. And then he was like on his roof and there was like a boat and he was like, don't worry, God's going to help me. And then he fucking dies and he's like at the pearly gates and he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And he's like, I sent a boat. I sent your neighbors. I sent all of this and you didn't take advantage of any of that. So it's like so many people, like even Suki, who is like not good at like a long-term broad plan, is like, I'm sure there's a room you can stay at the inn, like short term while this stuff is happening. Cause they're going to have to tent the house and then they're going to have to like, I don't know, like lift it and stuff to get the like new joists and stuff under there. Crazy. Even that is like problem solving in a way that Lorelai is like, no, I couldn't possibly. And it's, to me, it's that thing that gets very annoying when someone's like, I couldn't possibly take charity. And I'm like, you easily could take charity. Like, you just could. Why are you so proud that you're, like, more willing to be homeless than ask your rich mom for money? It's so stupid.
And then you invoke your daughter in the meeting with the banker.
Unbelievable.
But you will do absolutely nothing
to, like, help yourself. Her. It's so frustrating. So the only like 1 ounce that I'll give Lorelai is she is like, okay, well, you co-signed this loan for me because Emily sets up a meeting at her own bank and is like, I can, I set up this meeting. He's willing to help you, like, blah, blah, blah. And Lorelai, I'm a little torn in this scene because on the one hand, I'm like, if she wants to try to do it herself, then like Emily, injecting herself in the meeting is sort of infantilizing. However, the only reason you have this meeting is because of Emily. So that's what's nuts to me. And so she obviously gets denied by the loan because she has no assets. And she was like, treat me like anybody else off the street. I'm just like over here begging for special treatment. begging for special treatment.
You have connections.
Use them.
Use the connections.
Yeah. No, for sure. So basically, like I said, the only ounce that I'll give Lorelai is she gets Emily to co-sign this loan, and as they're leaving, she's like, okay, well, what's the new arrangement? You're obviously going to do something. I can just tell that you're trying to, like, you know, do this whole thing. What's the deal? And she's like, I just want to do something nice for you. And you're there with it for like 10 minutes until the scene at the end when she's like, oh, by the way, the DIR will be having all their meetings at the end.
Who's to say she's not doing it to be spiteful? Because who's to say she was actually doing it to be nice? And because Lorelai was such a fucking dick about the entire thing, she's like, all right, you want me to do it? I'll fucking do it.
That's fair.
That's what I would do because it's like, I'm genuinely trying to change our dynamic.
Yeah.
I am tired of being away from my granddaughter, and I am learning my lesson. I am taking the licks, you know, having, like, dealing with, the owner of the inn and, like, having, like, seeing the other mother, basically. So who's to say that Emily is not trying to do the work and be like, let me do something nice for my daughter in this moment. But because Lorelai is choosing to be a prick about the whole thing, she's like, all right, fine. Well, then I'm just going to fall back into the normal routine because that's what you expect of me.
Yeah.
Which is, like, it's not great either, but, like, you pushed me to it, so fucking fine. Then I'll be this person that you want me to be.
I get it. I think the one that frustrates me the most is Luke wanting to loan her the money.
Mm-hmm.
This happens more than once, where she's having money problems and Luke is like, I can help. She ends up taking him up on it, like, in the future. Not for this, obviously, but in the future. And he's like, I know some guys, which, by the way, discount. You know some guys. You know, you probably get a discount.
Also, real quick, why are we holding on to the $15,000 number from Kurt?
Yeah.
Second opinion. Shop your shit around.
So that's
I fucking hate her. I hate her. I really hate her. I'm having such a hard time.
Like, forever or just in this episode?
For a while. For a while.
This does not exist outside this episode.
Okay.
Like, we never talk about the termites again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the behavior specifically.
So I'm really curious. We'll have to see how you feel after the next episode if we're going to continue this weekend, because I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So the Luke thing, he's like, I know some guys, you know, you could like pay them in installments, like blah, 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 blah. That's the other thing too, is like a lot of this kind of stuff you can pay in installments. You and I have both worked in construction.
Yeah.
You can pay a lot of stuff in installments. She also has already apparently taken 2 loans out on the house, which is nuts. Like, super crazy.
Well, would that mean like the initial mortgage and then refinancing? Would that technically be 2 loans?
I don't think a refi counts as a loan. It's like an update to your loan, I think.
Okay, well, I have no idea.
I think it's like borrowing against the equity. So I think that means, like, I basically think she has like no equity in the house because she's borrowed against it more than once. Yeah, so the whole thing is like pretty stupid. It's really annoying. Lane and Rory do make up, and I think it's like, that feels sincere. Yeah. That's nice. She's just like, and Lane is like kind of like educating the cheerleaders from within. Like, they do their routine to like a weird song, and she's just like you said, she like just wants to do it. And she's cute and she's good, and she's like a 30-year-old woman doing this. I think it's adorable. But yeah, so that is largely it. You know, quite an episode. We're going to really have to see what the next episode holds. I think we should really, because there's good episodes in this season, and I really like the way the season ends. So I'm gonna probably make you finish it regardless, but if there's another episode you feel this strongly about, we can maybe not do an episode about it. All right, so you may or may not see coverage of the episode Richard in Stars Hollow, which should be next.
Hey, spoiler alert, guys, I have a really bad relationship with my mom. That's why this stuff is hard. So,
and well,
you're welcome, internet.
And I have a really strange relationship with my dad. So the next episode will be really super fun for me.
Yay!